Yes guys, Jess here, back with another video. You've read the title. We have a potential massive squeeze in the market right now. You can see on a 2-week liquidation scale, we have a lot of liquidity below us in and around the 91k mark over there. But if we zoom in to get a more closer look at what's happening, you can see we have a lot of short liquidations above us in and around the 96k mark. So we need to be looking at what's happening, as I see one scenario that is likely, in my opinion, to play out, and it's going to be trapping a lot of Bitcoin traders, a lot of crypto people. So make sure to be watching to the end so you can get that alpha. But before we do that, make sure to smash up that like button. Let's try to get above 30 likes this video. That'll be absolutely insane, guys. And with that being said, let's get straight away in towards this banger. Bow. So as you can see here, guys, we've been exactly consolidating within this weekend. We've been just hovering around that CME gap over there in and around the 94.7k level. So things are low volume. They're not really big moves that's happening in the market, and that's actually bullish. We want to be seeing prices hovering here so that we don't extend too far to the point where we have to come back aggressively to close the CME gap, and we don't dump too far off where the bears have an opportunity to continue to push price down. But we can see that we're hovering quite nicely, and if we actually zoom out to just see the price action, you can see that it doesn't look too bad. So as you guys can see, we have a nice change in structure over there. For we broken this previous lower high over there, we punched in a higher high, and you can see we've been creating higher lows too. So things are looking quite good, and potentially if we can actually create another higher high here, then that would actually set us up to actually grab all that liquidity in and around the 96k level. And then we need to be evaluating whether that's going to be a massive trap where we come down, or is that going to be enough for us to actually finally start moving a lot higher. So just looking at momentum, you can see we have bullish divergence, so that's looking really good in the imminent short term there. And we actually bounced from this level I was talking about on my Twitter, guys, so that's why it's important to be following me. But you can see that I said it's a massive support for Bitcoin over there in and around the 92k mark, because we tested that support for the 6th time, and it was massive. Because if we got support as we did, I was expecting a nice small bounce, which we've exactly got over here. So you can see that we've bounced in towards our monthly and yearly open, as you can see by these horizontal rays on the screen there. And if we zoom in closely, you can see we're hovering just below our previous month's mid-range, and we have not just rejected straight away from this level, which indicates strength to me. And I talked about the market structure just then, where we're creating higher lows over there, so it's likely that we can actually put in at least a few green candles to actually squeeze the liquidity above us, in my opinion, first, and actually have bullish price action where we reclaim this yearly open and monthly open after sweeping it so deeply and testing this 92k support. We can look in towards coming in towards our mid-range over here. Once we come in towards the mid-range, we need to be seeing if it's likely we're going to be actually following that up and actually pumping a lot higher, because I think that just going in a straight line definitely is on the table, and I'm very bullish, as you guys can already tell. But we need to be looking at the charts in more detail and determining why that may not be the case. First reason I'll tell you guys is the liquidity grab. You can see that we're building a lot of downside liquidity over here in and around the 91k level, and if we come to test the 92k level for the 7th time, I do think we're going to melt straight through and go to deeper levels of support where we actually shake out the weak hands before actually resuming the up only environment. You can see that we have our S&P on the right hand side and the Nasdaq below it. On the left hand side we have Bitcoin, and then we have Ethereum below it. And actually we had a pullback from the S&P in towards Friday's close and the Nasdaq too, off of the NSP news, and we haven't had that reaction from Ethereum or Bitcoin yet. So it may be a case where we're lagging it, and that's a scenario where I'm looking for a potential deviation in and around the 96k level after grabbing that liquidity, and then we actually come down. But again, that's not guaranteed. It is very likely that we can come in towards our 99.7k horizontal resistance and our downwards trend resistance over there, where we had a high, a lower high, and if we create a third high over there that's actually lower than our previous one, then I do expect that we can have another move down where we will actually break the support and head to our lower targets. So again, it's very key to be monitoring any pushes and any reactions from this level over here in towards your 99.7k level approximately. And if you see any signs of weakness over there, which I'll be showing you guys on Twitter and on YouTube as well, if I do see that, then I do expect us to actually come down a little bit. And then again, like I said, if we test the support for the 7th time, I do expect it to actually break, and actually we have this head and shoulders playing out that I covered on yesterday's video. But the reason I still remain optimistic, and that scenario is not guaranteed to be playing out, is because we have the Trump inauguration from tomorrow in about 7 days from tomorrow's date. You can see the window that I've put on this fractal over here, where I've put potential large plans to what can be happening, where we rally into it with no pullbacks. Then we get the sell news on the 20th, and then we resume the buying activity after that. And looking at the news for next week, we have a lot of news for the US. So if we get signs that inflation is actually falling a lot faster than the Fed wants, then they may actually consider cutting rates at a future point, which will be bullish for markets. So we need to be looking for that scenario to be playing out. However, for tomorrow's open, we do have a bank holiday for Asia. So the Asia range, where you have the high and low of the day actually being created, may not be as typical. The volumes may be a bit lower. So we actually may see a bit more manipulation in the price action. So we need to be looking at that scenario actually playing out. So any spikes in towards that liquidity pool over there, I'll be monitoring the reaction in towards our key level here. And if we manage to reach the 99k level and we start to see a potential lower high there, then I do expect us to get a liquidity grab before actually reclaiming the range, while you're targeting your mid-range range highs and then your all-time highs. Bit of a shorter one for me. Make sure to be smashed up the like button. Let's try beat this target. Let's try get above 30 likes this video. And watch my previous video as well to be having more detail on the short squeezes. Yesterday's video was a bit longer, and if you want to be taking advantage of the information, then we have exchanges like Blofin and KCEX, which are the two best ones I recommend. And if it's available in your country and you've checked that it's cool for you to be signing up, definitely take advantage of these massive deposit bonuses so that you can actually be using them to be taking some positions if you agree with my opinion. But yeah, guys, make sure to be following me on Twitter to stay up to date with everything that's going on in the market. Have a blessed rest of your Sunday. Peace, guys. See ya. Bye bye.